where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love. I kept on looking, but everyone's such a bore. And out of a sudden, you came through the door. At the next table, your whiskey neat, the lights were dimmed as our eyes met moves on.
So here today at popular demand, I'm at Keen's restaurant and I'm with Bonnie, who is the honorary pipe warden, probably the top pipe warden of Keen's restaurant, and she's going to show me around this incredible place. And I have to say, the first impressions are there are more clay pipes here than I've seen in the River Thames, and that's saying something.
There are a lot of clay pipes here, about 90,000, and we bring in about 500 a year.
500 a year. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie, for letting me come
Thank you for coming.
see the restaurant. So please, yes, could you show me around?
Yep, let me show you a little bit around. We're here in the lobby, and you can see pipes are everywhere on the ceilings.
Yeah,
in
have a look
the
at this,
cases.
everyone.
And of course, Keen's started as Keen's English Chop House. And it was a tradition at the time. There was a club in London called the Mermaid, and the Mermaid Club was a pipe club. And so they started this tradition here when they started Keen's. Of course, it was men only. Women weren't permitted in until 1905. Here in the lobby where we are now, you see the most famous pipe members from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. And if you look closely, you can see on the bowl of every pipe is a number. You were given a membership card. Your name and your number was on the card. After you had a bite to eat or a bit to drink, you would call for your pipe by presenting your card, and the pipe warden would bring your pipe to the table with great ceremony. So in this case, you can see Theodore Roosevelt, where we have a room named in his honor, the Bull Moose Room for his political party. Will Rogers, John Barrymore, who had a flat just north of here on 37th Street, General Douglas MacArthur, Babe Ruth, Robert Ripley, Enrico Caruso, and the list goes on. So it was the thing to do, go to Keen's and become a pipe member.
So they used to use these pipes to smoke when they were here, and then they'd give it back to the pipe warden,
who would store it in the pipe storage room. And the pipe storage room is on the 3rd floor. Nobody goes there. It's very secretive.
Really?
Yes. And here you can see, this is Peter Wood's. This is a photo taken in the pipe storage room. And Peter Wood was the pipe warden, we know, in the 40s because he had gotten a menu signed by Joe DiMaggio for his granddaughter, Emily, in 1941.
Bravo! DiMaggio, Joe DiMaggio! And now, Joe, tell me, what was the greatest thrill when you played the center field?
Well, my biggest thrill was playing in the last World Series between the Yanks and Giants in New York. It feels swell to make a hit. But when the fans yell play home run, every ball player wants to sock him. I stepped up to the plate and banged that ball straight on the nose. And once you saw it play home run, believe me, those cheers, the roar of the crowd, was the real thrill of my life. That was a thrill I shall always remember.
So here you can see the pipe warden, Peter Woods, and these cubicles upstairs, which are just chock full of pipes.
Oh my
so
goodness.
when they ran out of room in the pipe storage room, that's when they started the tradition of hanging them on the walls and on the ceilings. So here you can see, this is the Zook family. This is David Zook and his father Herman Zook. And you can see they had a special, canister for this special tobacco. And there he is smoking a church warden pipe. Those pipes had to be stored here because if you carry them, they would break.
Yeah, of course.
However, you will see some of the pipes have a shortened stem. It was a tradition that when a pipe member would pass away, you would break the stem of the pipe so that no one else could smoke it. And the treasure of Keens is all of the stories that you learn from all the different people from the different periods that they were here. So I learned that actually friends would gather and take someone's pipe, smoke the pipe for the last time, and then break the stem of the pipe. So these are honorary pipe members. Yes, you can no longer smoke a pipe. So these are famous pipe members or regular guests who have become honorary pipe members. So they've signed a pipe and it's displayed in their honor, just as those were displayed. And included in these pipes are Muhammad Ali, Steven Spielberg, Daniel Day-Lewis, Jimmy Fallon, Ray Romano, a lot of sports stars, Meryl Streep, the list goes on and on.
There is that link to London via the Lambs Club, which I was...
The Lambs Club and the Mermaid.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll notice on some of the older menus, there's the crest, the royal crest. They use that as part of their logo on their menus and on their stationery and such. So there's a real connection there. So I'm just going to take you through some of the rooms
Thank you.
and let you take a peek. So each room has a little different historical story in old New York and the United States in general.
Yeah.
So in here we have a lot of sporting events and such. Baseball players, boxers, tennis players. And this is the main bar. Here we have Miss Keens. She's a typical saloon girl painting, gay 90s, so 1890s, and unknown painter. We don't know who painted her.
So that's Miss Keens.
That's Miss Keens.
Do you think she smoked a pipe?
I'm sure she did. And she resides over 300 single malt scotches.
Oh my goodness, and there they are. Ooh, look at all that.
And then in here you see images of different parties that went on over the years. And some of the images you'll see, they're wearing aprons and hats. Those were called beefsteak dinners. The beefsteak dinner was the celebration of gluttony, and so you did not use knives and forks. And one of my favorite images here is the U.S. Olympic team from 1908.
Oh gosh, let's have a
They
look
had
at
dinner
that.
here.
Oh, and that's a really good view of all those pipes there. Look at all these pipes hanging from the ceiling. How many pipes have you got on the ceiling?
About 90,000.
90,000 clay pipes.
And in the pipe storage room, yeah.
Are you sure you haven't been over to the Thames and been taking a few?
No.
Because they seem to be less.
Well, one of the things, the story that I was reminded of when we were looking at it and I forgot, is that some people, people who grew up in Shelter Island and some of the islands off Long Island, told me that when they were growing up, they would find clay pipes digging in the ground.
Right.
So, as young kids digging in the ground, they would find these clay pipes, and they are made for us in Holland. And of course, New Amsterdam was the first settlers here or started New York City. So
Yeah.
it made sense that those clay pipes might have belonged to them. So in the main dining room, which is this room, you'll see a lot of playbills because as the theaters moved north, of course they were on the Bowery and then to Herald Square before they went to Broadway, and here we are in Herald Square. And when the Lambs Club started, that connection,
Yeah.
the actors would come and hang out here between shows, and they would bring their playbills of the show they were in, and then they would get put up on the walls.
I see.
So you see these playbills and also images of actors, where I'm going to show you in the Lambs room, you'll see even more of those.
Because I was reading that Herald Square's got quite a lot of theatrical, or it did have a lot of theatres
Yes,
here.
the theaters moved north to Herald Square before Broadway. So you know the song, "Remember Me to Herald Square." So there you have it.
Yes.
So this was the theater district at that time.
Right, okay. So a lot of the actors used to come here between shows and have a glass of wine, smoke their pipe.
And carry on.
Yeah.
fortify themselves for the next show.
So do you have a lot of actors that work here?
Yes. Yeah. I think a lot of actors in New York City, you know, work in restaurants because, I mean, it's sort of theatrical, right? It's a really wonderful thing.
Don't let your heart go too heavy. Keep smiling and baby. Wish you love to obey. The devil's holding the power. No good naughty power. Wish you love to obey.
Here you see a lot of homage. So this is a folk piece.
I do like this.
She's my lady, she's my queen. She's my lady Nicotine. No, she's my idol, she's my queen. And
Look at that.
I don't advertise this, but for digestion's sake, they're encouraging people to smoke Camels. You can see this is in the 40s, this long connection, like these are the New York Rangers. And they were longly connected to Keens. So they still are. They're in the playoffs right now. So it's a very exciting time for the Rangers.
Now meet some of baseball's top players who smoke Camels, America's top cigarette. Yankee pitcher Bob Grimm.
I've smoked a lot of cigarettes, and Camels are the best tasting smoke I've found.
Whitey Lockman, New York Giants.
Others I smoke just haven't got Camel's taste, and they're not as mild.
Fans, you ought to try Camels, the best-like cigarette today. Only Camels taste so rich, yet smoke so mild.
Gosh, look, there's even a little girl smoking a clay pipe here. And when tobacco was introduced to England back in the 16th century, men, women and children were positively encouraged to
Yeah,
smoke.
it was supposed to cure the evil spirits in us.
Exactly, and the plague. So in the 17th century, pretty much everyone was smoking.
This is just happens to be a fossil that was from the Moab that looks exactly like a dry-aged steak, the marbling and so on.
A dinosaur sirloin. Look at that.
And now we're going to make our way upstairs where we're going to see a lot of political cartoons,
Okay.
Carrier knives, and lots more pipes.
Right, we're going into the Lincoln and the Lambs room.
And so here we have the Lincoln room. Bloodstained souvenir hangs in frame on wall at Keen's Chop House. Was found under Lincoln's chair in Ford's Theater. And a story about how it came to be.
Gosh, look at that. There's such a lot of history here, isn't there? Not just the clay pipes, but
No, it's
an
a
awful
definite
lot of
historical place.
awful lot of history.
Yeah. And then, of course, this side is the conspirators who assassinated him. And John Wilkes Booth happened to be an actor as well. And so the ongoing story of playbills, there's a playbill that he was in Richard III in Boston. This is a letter that Abraham Lincoln wrote Mrs. Bixby, who lost 5 of her sons in the Civil War. And they actually read that letter in Saving Private Ryan, that movie. And when I was looking at the pipes that you're finding, I was reminded of this, which was established in 1879, Central Clay Pipe Works, Edward Pollock. And you see all the different pipes in not only the church warden pipes that you find, but the ones that you're finding as well, I think. And of course, here we have a very large pipe above us.
Oh my gosh! That's the largest pipe I've seen.
And, you know, we were looking at the pipes downstairs. Teddy Roosevelt, this is his room, well, named for him, the Bull Moose Party, and the Bull Moose up along above the fireplace. And then the images in here are American presidents and generals, and then lots of old New York.
Okay.
And this room is actually one we'll be seating in at lunch today, as well as the main dining room, whereas you can kind of zoom around the other rooms. One of my favorite pieces in the whole restaurant is this birth chart from 1903 in a publication called The World, and it shows that a baby was born every 3 minutes on the Lower East Side and every 3 weeks on the Upper West Side. And then Harlem's Little Italy was up here. So here we're moving up to the Lily Langtry room, who was the woman who is said to have sued Keene so that women were permitted in. And this is an actual menu from when he had a dinner in her honor from October 10th, 1908. See Keene's, formerly the Lambs Club, supper to Mrs. Langtry by Albert Keene. And that was donated to us from the New York Public Library, who got it in a menu collection. So Lily Langtry was the paramour of King Edward VII, who was there. And when he came into throne, they said, you know, get out of here. Let's not have any drama. So she made her way to the States, and she became quite famous on stage. Was sort of this, you know, dame that all men were enthralled with. And since she is the one who is said to have come in with a boa and said, I want to eat where the boys are, and eventually did get us in, this is a room in her honor. And here you'll be able to get the closest images of the pipes on the ceilings. So to offset the publicity about women being able to eat inside at the restaurant, they ran an ad saying, ladies are in luck, they may now dine in Keens.
Yes, I was just reading about that and the fact that she just flounced in with her feather boa and said, I'd like a mutton chop.
Exactly.
Well done, Lily. So did she smoke a pipe as well?
I'm sure she did. Yeah, you see images of the women smoking pipes too. For me, what I find so amazing about being an honorary pipe warden, for example, when I first worked here 26 years ago, I got a letter in the mail and it had someone's pipe card, and it had some postcards, and it had a letter. And the letter was written by a man's wife, and the letter said, you know, I'm writing this for my husband because his eyesight is failing, but come to think of it, so is mine. But she sent it along on his behalf, and he wanted us to know that even though he had been stationed here during World War II, there was a Royal Navy Yard in Brooklyn, and that's where he had been stationed. And he said that even though there was a war going on and he was far from home, that he wanted us to know that he thought of Keens still, and he had such fond memories. He wanted to share it with us. And, you know, I just get the chills whenever I think of that story, and then so many to follow. For example, you know, we'll get a letter, my father had a pipe there, or my grandfather had a pipe there, and sometimes we're able to find them, and it's sort of magical. And recently during the pandemic, or post-pandemic a little bit, a family had lost their patriarch, and they were spread, some were in Missouri, some were in California, and they were sort of walking in his footsteps to his final resting place in Vermont. And so just as a whim, they had their father's pipe card, and they said, we're going to come in for lunch, and this is my father's pipe number. And we went to the pipe storage room, and we found the pipe. It's sort of magical, but it's meant to be. And so the family had gathered from all around, and they were having lunch downstairs, and we were able to present their father's pipe, and they were able to take it with them. And then some people, when we find their pipes or their loved one's pipe, they've come across their pipe card and their things, they leave it here. So we keep it in an area of the pipe storage room, which I guess will be our area, so that when they visit, we're able to retrieve it and bring it to them.
What great stories. I wish that there was a way of working out who smoked the pipes that I find. I mean, the Thames is almost like a giant pipe store.
Yeah.
And imagine if they had all the names written on the pipes that we found, because I'm sure some of the pipes that I found must have been smoked by famous people.
I'm sure. Everyone did it.
Yeah. No, what? Those are wonderful stories, aren't they?
Yeah. Very special.
So, Bonnie, as I'm here, I wanted to give you a few things, and I have them here in this box. So, firstly, I wanted to give you this, and I've seen actually in your cabinet over there, I've seen that you've got one, but this is, if you want to pick it up,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
beautiful.
royal, as you know probably, it's a Royal Antediluvian Order of Buffalo clay pipe.
Wow.
Found in the River Thames. It probably dates to about 1830, 1840.
Amazing.
And it's quite interesting because obviously that also has that theatrical kind of link because the RAOB, a little bit like the Lambs Club, I mean, they were founded by the theatrical profession.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
Thank you
that
so
one,
much.
yeah, that one is from the Thames Mud.
Oh, we're going to have to put it in the archives.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you.
were. So found by
Again,
myself.
our period in the pipe room.
That would be amazing. So there's that. I've written it down in here, and I also wanted to give you these because these clay pipes, and obviously you've seen plenty of these. These ones were made by one of the few remaining clay pipe makers in the UK who still makes clay pipes.
Wow.
Using the traditional method, and it's a David Higgins of Period Pipes, but he's also the chairman of the Society for Clay Pipe Research and the National Pipe Archive.
Amazing. Wow, now I need to contact him to make us pipes.
Yes, absolutely. No, and he's really good, but also I was thinking it would be great if Keynes maybe would like to have a membership to the Society for Clay Pipe Research.
Yes, of course, that would be perfect.
And so I thought I could get you one, my gift, and
thank you.
then I'll send you the membership number, and it would be just really cool to have Keynes as a member of the SCPR.
Yes, it definitely would. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and I thought as well I'd give you this one. This is a pipe, obviously similar, not quite as long as some of yours, but this is also one which was found in the River Thames.
Wow. Wow.
By myself.
Isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much. Now I'm going to have to give you one. Just a little one. I've never seen, I've seen a shag pipe, but this is a little different. And these are also, this one has a different bowl.
Yes, so that's a 17th, I think that's an early 17th century one. And then that one is 18th century.
Amazing. And even ours, depending on the period, old. Some have a knob, some don't. You know, so there's a variety of the pipes that they were going through. Maybe it's like supply problems like we're having now with everything. Well, that's really special. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, and thank you very much for showing me around. And my friend and I are going to have lunch here, so we are very excited about that.
Wonderful.
And I know that everyone is going to enjoy this little tour of Keynes.
If we may make you an honorary pipe member of the Keynes illustrious clays.
Oh, yes, please.
This is actually, again, it's a little historical pipe. I'm told by, one of the many stories that I hear, that it was given to people to take home for their children. So it's a mini clay pipe. You can see it has Keynes on one side. Again, it's made in Holland, so we have that history. And it'll be easy for you to transport home.
That is so kind of you.
We'll keep one on your behalf here as well, and have you sign a pipe to put in the pipe case. So if you would be honored, if you would become an honorary pipe member and join the 90,000 plus members that have come before us, and then we would keep your pipe here, and 100 years from now, hopefully they're going to find it, just like you're finding pipes in the River Thames.
Isn't that amazing? I did not expect this. This is very, very exciting. I'm going to be an honorary member of the
Welcome to the club.
Pipe Club of Keynes. Look at this, everyone. This historic moment. So where do people sign it?
Oh, you can sign it on the bowl. You can sign it on the stem.
Okay.
I mean, it's your membership, so you should do
I'm
what you wish.
Very honoured.
Yes, of course. And for example, Ray Romano wrote, "Don't put mine next to Jimmy Fallon's." So you can write whatever you like.
I think you can just about read that. Thames is a giant liquid storybook. Nicola White, Tideline Art. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
I wonder how many clay pipes are left in the Thames. I wonder if there's as many as there are on the ceilings of Keynes restaurant.
maybe. There's a lot of souls that came here and left, and a lot of souls upon the Thames, so it could be neck and neck.
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like ours can lead out its call. Seasons come and pass, one after the last, and along we go. The shift and pull of the tides never sleeps. But if I had a boat and oceans to cross, then I would sail them. Since I have this promise to keep, I will keep you near until the world ends and you are safe with me until the world ends, and I will stay with you until the world
Well, come on, sing. Have you ever been in heaven? Well, I was last night. Stop! Stop! Excuse me, please. You singer? Absolutely not. You tenor? No. You baritone? No. You basso profondo? No. Only ma. What are you?
I'm a center fielder.
You ball catcher, quarterback, center field. DiMaggio. DiMaggio. Papà, dammi via. Siciliano. Bravo. DiMaggio, Joe DiMaggio.